Conditions. Well, you couldn't possibly have asked for better conditions for the start of the fourth test match at Headingley. Weather conditions were perfect and the pitch looked an absolute belter when Clive Lloyd won the toss, and after a little bit of hesitation decided that his batsman would take first use of the pitch. A new-look England side, many changes made by the selectors, and certainly a new-look bowling attack with a trio of John Snow, Bob Willis and Alan Ward in the side together for the first time. Here's Bob Willis now bowling the third over of the morning, and he's bowling to Roy Fredericks. Great shot. No thought there of scooping that down to fine leg where Underwood was waiting. He hit that beautifully. Willie, there was a great effort there. Say that it carried to Willie. Just question whether or not Fredericks jammed it into the ground. No, he didn't. My word, that was a good effort. One shot. And a fine stroke. Four more. There's not much movement in the air there for John Snow.
Smashing square cut. And that's hitting the boundary board now. That's how quickly it goes.
Great shot. That's just about the shot of the morning. Still to be Bob Willis. He's bowling his fifth over. Underwood will cut that off, but it'll be quite a comfortable 2 runs. Steele, nicely picked up. No chance, it was bouncing in front of him. Through the gap, Frank Hayes and Peter Woolley at third slip and gully respectively, and it split them neatly. Started David Steele's reach and 4 runs. It's a good shot, that, from Fredericks. No ball again. So it's something of a loose exhibition here by the England bowlers. Some lovely stroke play. Fredericks having just brought up the half century in only 36 minutes.
That's going to be 4. No stopping that one, however fast he runs. So even the slow bowling doing nothing to curb the run rate here.
Shot through that gap there. Willie had no chance of picking that up. This is an expensive little experiment.
Oh, 4 from the moment it left the bat. Over pitch, no ball, everything there for Fredericks. Put away. Quite magnificent to square on the offside. So a rare play and miss there from Gordon Greenidge. Certainly off the outside edge there. And just the slightest bit of movement away from the bat by Alan Ward. I didn't know too much about that either. Looking to clip it away on the onside. And ended up here by Willie doing the fielding in the gully. But going right across the line of that ball. Underwood back round the wicket to the right hand of Greenidge. Oh, and a glorious shot. Used his feet, got to the pitch of it. Gave Underwood no chance at all. Hammered past him for another 4. That could be a nasty one. Pocock on the field, now in place of the injured Woolmer as Ward moves in to bowl a new over. Fredericks on 47, he's edged it over the top of slips and races away for 4 more. So Roy Fredericks going through to 51. And those runs have come in just 76 minutes. And there's 10 boundaries amongst them.
Greenidge is 29 now. West Indies 96 without loss. That's the 100 up. Fine shot by Greenidge to bring up the 100 for the West Indies. And umpire Spencer signals 6. He's talked to umpire Constant at square leg. And 4 more. A fine shot by Greenidge there of his toes. Ward straying in line. And Greenidge particularly strong off his pads. Frank Hayes. The disappointed moves on the part of the other slipfieldsman. It looked as though it might just have carried to his right hand. Well, Tony Greig was working him wide of the off stump there, but it made absolutely no difference. It was a ball of quite full length and swinging away, and it was a real play at the pitcher job. Takes Greenidge on to 46. Oh, that's a great shot. That was a better shot still. Tremendous off drive. And that's good running. However, there's been some good cricket here this morning. Didn't quite time that. But it does bring up his 50. Well, some lovely strokes in that half century for Gordon Greenidge.
There's another one crashed through the covers. Well, whatever the outfield would have been like, that would have gone for 4. Another half volley, not quite timed this time, and Greenidge a little late setting off. The throw, in fact, the wrong end, a good one, but Fredericks able to take 2 on the overthrow, and that one thinks under many circumstances something of an unjust law. Because that was a fine throw from Derek Underwood, and he was penalised as a result of hitting the wicket. And beaten outside the off stump. Much better ball there from Bob Willis, slanting it across the left-hander, forcing him to play. And the angle he achieves been sufficient to beat the outside edge. It's in the air, but safe, through mid-wicket. Will it go through? It'll go through, I think, for 4 for his 100. Well, it stopped, but they were just considering whether they could run 4. But Fredericks happy to take 3 and move on to 99. And Tony Greig coming in to bowl to him. A nice ball to receive on 99, yet another half volley. Steered away, this time to third man. Whoever you support in this game of cricket, there's one man that you really must acknowledge here today. Brilliant 100 in just 2 minutes, over 2 hours 20, 17 fours. His 7th 100 in Test match cricket. 3rd time he's done this against England. And his 2nd 100 of the series. Remember, he got 138 Lords in the 2nd innings there. And he too, clipping it away off his legs. Once again, it's an over-pitch ball. And deciding this time they can take 4. 4 all run. And another half volley, and another 4. And David Constant's arms must be getting a little bit weary, the number of boundaries that these two have signalled here today. Amazingly high proportion of these runs have come in 4s. And nearly got through. So the breakthrough at long last. Bob Willis does it, and he's deserved a wicket as much as any England bowler. Breaking this tremendous opening stand, the total on 192. And Roy Fredericks, the end of a wonderful exhibition. 109, he's set this crowd alight, he's started this test match off in exactly the right mood. And whatever your feelings are, whoever you support in the game of cricket, one could only appreciate this effort by little Roy Fredericks. So this, only the 124th ball he received. And just finding that little gap between bat and pad, clipping the outside of the off stump.
Alan Ward to Vivian Richards. Vivian Richards has just pulled a magnificent 4 off Alan Ward, just behind square leg to get off the mark and to bring up the West Indies 200. Alan Ward is bowling his 7th over at the moment, has none for 46. Now has none for 50. The answer isn't the ball on this pitch. It's a very, very good batting surface. Vivian Richards is not the man to bowl it to.
Oh, what a beauty. Well, there's that front foot right up there, but a ball that really nips back and takes off. Oh, and it was in the air. No hand on it, just wide.
Fine shot. A cheeky shot, mind you, but a nice way to bring up your 100 if you want to do it in cheeky fashion. So Greenidge now scores his 3rd successive Test century in this series. Joy for the West Indian spectators, and a lot of joy there for Gordon Greenidge as well.
It's Derek Underwood to Gordon Greenidge. It's beaten mid-wicket. Racing down the hill, gathering speed the whole time. Willie doing well, just about cut it off. For all that, they've run 4. Greenidge now taking his score to 108. Oh, it's a great shot. Glorious straight 6. And again, that ball just tossed slightly higher. Greenidge onto it in a flash, using his feet right down the wicket and dropping it right in the crowd over long off. John Snow back into the attack. And getting the same sort of treatment that's been handed out to all the bowlers here. Crash through extra cover. Another 4 to Richards. And that's out, and John Snow strikes. Just about the worst ball, I think, that Greenidge has received. Hammered straight to Alan Ward off the back foot. So the 2nd wicket going down at 287. Wicket to John Snow. On the departing figure of Gordon Greenidge after his 3rd successive Test match 100. Another magnificent effort, full of glorious shots all around the wicket, and we'll be terribly disappointed to see it end like that. So it's Lawrence Rowe down at the far end. And bear in mind, he's once made 300 against England. So Underwood attacking him with a slip, a silly point and a short leg. And that's a very confident, handsome way to get off the mark. No effort again. Perfectly timed shot by Lawrence Rowe. Oh, and just flicked away with the wrist. What a beautiful shot that really was. So Lawrence Rowe off the mark with 2 boundaries facing John Snow. And that will go through for another. So he goes on to 12 by means of 3 boundaries. He's only been out there for 5 minutes. And the 300 coming up. Another over from John Snow. Another off drive and another 4. Been some really wonderful shots played by these West Indian batsmen today, but they've been fed an awful lot of half volleys. I can't remember the England bowlers bowling so many well-pitched up balls in a test match for a very long time. And Viv Richards on 48 now. Well, it wasn't a bounce, it was a long hop. And Richards just simply crucified it. Hit it anywhere he liked. 4 runs, goes through to yet another 50. And this 50 has taken him only 73 minutes. And it's included 8 fours. Richards really doesn't want to know him, neither does anybody else.
And that is out. He's still got plenty of time for that record, but Bob Willis has taken his 2nd wicket of the innings. Vivian Richards caught not. Bowled Willis for 66, beaten the ball before, and then caught behind by Alan Knott. There it is again, and as that ball goes into Alan Knott's gloves, he equals the record held by Godfrey Evans of 219 test dismissals. So Vivian Richards goes off the field with 66 to his name. Alan Knott stands there having equalled Evans' record of 219 dismissals. And a shout again from Willis and a half shout from the slips. It's a pretty good delivery to give to your opposing captain. 3rd ball he's received. Alan Knott was almost through to be the sole wicket taker on 220 dismissals. Lloyd is off the mark. Derek Underwood was the fieldsman, but unfortunately he's allowed it to go through to the boundary, and Clive Lloyd has made 4. And Irving Rosenwater is having a field day today. He tells me that that is Clive Lloyd's 4,000th run in Test cricket. David Steele, and it's the 4th wicket down. Lloyd has caught Steele, bowled Alan Ward, and the England supporters come to their feet. Some joy at long last, and not a bad little session this for England between tee and stumps. Alan Ward with his first ball, a real loosener, and David Steele took a good catch above his head.
And this very exciting batsman, Collis King. But in the Manchester Test match, he was very much a shaky starter, although he belted it all round once he got in. So we'll see how he starts against Alan Ward. Whoops! And that's out. Well, the ball just seemed to pop, and Alan Ward has taken 2 in 2 and is on a hat-trick. There's Derek Murray. Very capable batsman, one of the most solid players in the West Indian side. This is up to Alan Ward. Hat-trick ball.
Not a bad delivery either. Suddenly there's a little bit of bounce and life in this pitch. 370 for 5. Alan Ward misses the hat-trick, but gets a tremendous round of applause from an appreciative audience here at Headingley.
Ward again to row. Oh, it's a beautiful shot. Certainly 2 here. 2 to bring up the 400. And the 2 batsmen making it into 3. So a delightful square cut from Lawrence Rowe. Takes West Indies past 400. A new spell for John Snow at the Kirkstall Lane end. Only bowled 11 overs to date, so should still be a little steam left in him. And that's the single Rowe wanted. Turned off his legs, takes him on to 50. And the 4th West Indian batsman here to go past the half-century mark. That's a good stop. Bob Woolmer, the bowler now. And that's a chance, and it's taken. And Woolmer coming on with his very first ball, getting rid of Lawrence Rowe. Good, smart slip catch there by England skipper Tony Greig. So the 6th wicket going down. Score on 413, and the man England wanted to get rid of, Lawrence Rowe, just reached 50.
Another magnificent shot there. A real flick off the legs. Well stopped too by Derek Underwood. He's always trier in the field. Only 2 runs. Looked like being 4. Oh, marvellous little leg glance. Derek Underwood staying back square there. Leg glance for 4.
That's out. The safe hands of Bob Willis at second slip, and a good breakthrough there for John Snow, who's taken some hammer here today. Has his revenge there, or Derek Murray? Port Willis bowls Snow. And Murray made 33. 421 now. 4-7. John Snow now to bowl to Van Holder. There he is. It's a fine effort there by Frank Hayes. 8th wicket down. And it's Van Holder who has gone. So suddenly the fielding and the catching has become top class, and England have broken through again. A fine performance. Van Holder is out. Caught Hayes bowled Willis. A smart bowling change that from Tony Greig. And Van Holder made only 1. There's the dismissal again. Pitching quite a bit outside off stump, and Hayes was very quick to go away to his right and take a neat catch. John Snow now to Andy Roberts. And that's gone between the 2 of them. Bob Willis and Tony Greig at second and first slip. Certainly catchable. I think Willis was coming across there. We can have another look at it now. I think Willis was coming across in front of Greig, who's quite a bit behind him, about a yard behind. One of those complete misunderstandings takes place between slip fieldsmen. Bad luck for John Snow. And he's put it down. Tony Greig. And there was certainly nothing difficult about that one. John Snow again now to Andy Roberts. Guy signalled by Spencer. Suddenly now everyone is playing and missing or playing and getting an edge. Bowled him, and that's just reward for John Snow. Michael Holding given quite a torrid time there. So too Andy Roberts, and John Snow has come in to take his third wicket. So 3 wickets to Willis, 3 to Snow, and something for English fans to cheer about, even though there are 433 runs on the board. There it is again. Holding not quite in line there. Again, a leg cutter, the ball deviating probably 3 or 4 inches, and pegging back the off stump. And the last pair, Andy Roberts and Wayne Daniel, stayed together to the end when the total finished up at that massive 437 for 9, dominated by those 2 openers, Fredericks and Greenidge, 192 their opening partnership in only 155 minutes, and you don't see run scoring at that rate too often in Test cricket these days. Vivian Richards, a superb innings that, really did play some glorious strokes right back to that form of the Trent Bridge Test when he made his 232. Lawrence Rowe, a welcome return to the West Indies side, only came back because of the injury to Khalid Charan, but he played very well indeed. Clive Lloyd, the man who they really needed to get into it late in the afternoon, he was out to a very good catch by David Steele off the persevering Alan Ward. Ward, a couple of wickets there, just reward for coming back to the Test side, and he fought very hard indeed. Collis King, a first bowler, and Derek Murray played some pleasant strokes in his 33. Well, if the story of the day was a dominant one as far as the batsmen were concerned in the early part of the day, it certainly didn't finish up quite like that, because in the last session of play, the England bowlers fought back, I thought, magnificently to take 7 for 107. It's not easy to come up against a batting side of this strength and suddenly to find yourself in an awful position in mid-afternoon and then still come back and take 7 wickets in that last session. West Indies were in a very strong position at tea time. They finished up in still a strong position, but England can go back with their pride intact tonight and the knowledge that they really did work hard and fight like fury in that last 2 hours. But what of the match now? Spectators who are in the ground today and television viewers certainly had their money's worth today. One of the most entertaining days cricket I've seen in years. Dominated by the West Indian batsmen, the fight back by the England bowlers. But what can England do now tomorrow against the West Indies pace attack? 4 men in that pace attack now. The 3, Roberts, Holding and Daniel from the Old Trafford Test, reinforced by Van Bernholder, not a spinner in the side. And the pitch, although playing perfectly, I think I detected a little bit of movement off the seam there this afternoon, and a little bit of extra bounce for John Snow when he got stuck into it late in the day. It's a great test for the England batsmen. We'll see tomorrow how well they come out of it, and no doubt the England selectors will be watching just as anxiously as everyone else back in their living rooms. The West Indies began these